Clips, clips.
Tonight at 11.
Doom! It's a plan! And I'm angry! I'm not a slave! I've broken the conditioning! It doesn't work on me! I'm primitive. Real. I know the enemy. And if we can have this spirit of normal humanity spread, it's over for the globalist. Break the conditioning now! Excuse me.
This is not the InfoWars Nightly News, where the answer to 1984 is not $19.95 plus shipping and handling, but the answer is to try and understand the double-barrel bullcrap, the double-speak, and the Orwellian wonderland we now find ourselves in. So sit back and relax as I take you through a real alternative look at the news and so-called alternative media alike. Enjoy.
Clips, clips.
Alrighty, YouTubes, another one of Kips Clips, and welcome to this week's instalment of not the InfoWars Nightly News, the original alternative look at the alternative media. Skeptical about the so-called skeptics and watching the motherfucking Watchmen, so somebody's got to do it. So this week in the UK and further afields as well, this has been echoed globally in the news sphere anyway. The cult of Tommy Robinson was out. Hashtag we want the rule of law, but not this time. They were out calling for the release of Tommy Robinson, and the cult of the anti-Trump. I mean, I'll give it to Tommy Robinson's mob, but at least they keep it fucking simple. You know, they know what they're there for. Beat up some cops? No, the other one. Beat up? No, the other one. Sing football slogans? No, the next one. Free Tommy Robinson? Aye. See, keep their messaging simple. Whereas the anti-Trump stuff is, we hate Trump, he's a fascist, so let's ban him. And it doesn't really, nobody runs that through the old grey matter. Okay, yeah, Trump's a fascist because he's banning people from coming to his country. He's very authoritarian. I know what we should do. We should be able to dictate who can and cannot come into our country, even elected leaders of foreign nations. Not to mention probably the biggest ally we have in the world and stuff, but nah. Anyway, the messaging from that camp, well screwed up. But in reality, what is it? It's normal people are getting marginalised. The normal majority are getting turned into a silent minority. And it's genuinely got to the stage where I feel uncomfortable at every fucking political gathering going. To the extent where I just cannot be fucked opening my mouth. It isn't worth the fucking hassle. If it's not fucking some Scottish Independence Live, we've got a fucking Israeli show. It's fucking God, man. It's I just find it unbelievable. I find it hard to digest that there's so many unthinking people out there that will arrive and at such a place of clarity and without thinking through what they're saying, whether it be the anti-Trump mob or the pro-Trump mob. People who think both groups are acting like batshit fucking crazy lunatics, and let's be honest, they are. I mean, both camps are just acting all forms of lunacy. They're acting radical. They're acting they're taking things to extremes, and they're taking things to such an extreme that no longer are they just willing to go, that other side stinks. Red team really stink. They don't even flush the toilet after themselves or nothing. It's got to the stage now where both sides are dehumanising, demonising the opposite side to the extent that low IQ morons that are getting wound up with this are willing to go and propagate violence on the other side. But hey, don't worry, it's not a human, It's a liberal. It's an alt-right. It's an alt-right moron. It's a truther. It's this, it's that. And people are willing to just, over that perception, resort to all forms of stupidity. Some of the rolling battles in America is just an example. And both sides arming up to the teeth and stuff. And then both sides are going to blame each other. If and when people actually go here, there might be a civil war or some sort of a loggerheads happening here. So anyway, after this weekend and even leading up to this point, there is no place for normality anymore. You want to go out, turn up, let's say a protest, a political gathering, anything, and have a debate with people, you better be there team-handed or fucking get ready for a fight or something, because that is the environment that the scumbags out there that are getting inside all our nuts, they're creating. And they're creating it because they want chaos. And they want chaos to try and tear all the old institutions down. Not that I'm a fan of them, I'm just saying what I see. And if you're tearing down the old institutions, the reason the institutions were actually accepted by the masses in the first place will become apparent, and there'll be people offering up the solution to that. Whether it be Trump and Putin, or Hillary Clinton and Tony Blair, I don't want any of those motherfuckers being able to near the drawing board. After they're the fuckers that have fucking led us to this position of people wanting to tear everything down, I don't want them being near the drawing board of rebuilding things. Because I suspect they aren't going to have the people's best interests at heart. Like the left of politics and the right of politics. None of them have the people's best interests at heart. Both of them will stand up there and very convincingly argue that they do. Scratch beneath the surface a wee bit more of both these groups. The right, fucking conservatives, old crusty men that want to hold on to power and keep the way things are and fucking sleep with their Bible. The left, what's the word? Stick a wee bit of eugenics on there. And again, a bunch of rich douchebags who disagree with the right-wing douchebags about how best to organise the working masses. And again, you argue for as long as you like about who offers you up the best slave conditions. Who's going to offer the workers the best rights? Completely missing the whole argument. We shouldn't be fucking slaves in the first place, and our future should... and anything in society... Institutions that exist in society should be voluntarily entered into and not forced upon a mass populace who doesn't even understand what's happening. Anyway, I digress. So it's what cult are you going to choose? Whose knob are you going to polish? But anyway, in the evening one and all, if you appreciate Not the InfoWars Nightly News at any point, make sure you thumbs it up, share it with your friends, family and foes, help the show and the channel grow. I rely on you guys and girls at home to do so, because the cross-promotion day of the YouTubes is gone. So we'll be pointing out at some of the coordinated messaging coming out from the independent alternative media, which they're no more innocent in this InfoWar that this world InfoWar that we're in right now. They're no more innocent than the BBC and CNN. They're just soldiers from the different sides of the information war, and both of them are going to tell you that they shit out gold bars. Surprisingly enough, I'm arguing none do. Neither of them do. For the grammar Nazis out there. So welcome one and all. I'll say hi to everybody in the chat. There's Sonia White. Mr. Brown in the town. How you doing, my man? Hope you're doing well. Jamesy Boy, Helipad, Rebel against the puppet show in the afternoon. Gents, how yous doing? In the evening even. Vadoom, Tom's in the house. Charlotte, how yous doing, guys and girls? Thanks for joining as always. Scottish Ross was in. The real UK. The real UK True is in as well. The artist formerly known as Tony in the evening, my man. And Richie Rosen was in as well in the evening. Richie, hope you are doing well, my man. So thanks for joining one and all. And remember, if you do appreciate it, thumbs it up. There's a Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. If you get any value from the stuff I do, feel free to use the Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. It's digital busking, everything's available and accessible free of charge. I hope to do such a good job that people will consider using the Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. And remember, your spare change, not your life savings, of course. So let's have a quick look at the rundown of what I've got tonight. It should be a shorter show, so hopefully I might be able to get to bed at a proper hour. Invest in baby balloons. Stock tip for you. Go into your stock market, financial advisors and all that, and tell them to invest in companies that make balloons that look like babies with people's faces on it. Got a sneaking suspicion sales are going to be up. I think I can hardly even read that. Hashtag walk away to Russia. And again, the lack of ability to even consider for 1 second that Russia might pull a stunt in foreign countries that are their economic enemies. And the lack of ability to even consider that for 1 fucking second should set people's alarm bells going off. They're the first people to tell you, and rightly so, confirm in my opinion, that the BBC, the USA, the Western allies are fucking in other people's countries, whether it be Iran, whether it be the Middle East, whether it be Russia or China, right? And I think quite rightly so, they point out the tools and techniques that the West, let's say, in general uses to fuck with their geopolitical adversaries. The fact that the critical thinking, independent, alternative media journalists that don't let that enter their heads for 1 little motherfucking second. Just Russia's all goodness and light. Can't consider that at all. The BBC and CNN and stuff they're saying, just complete fabrication. There isn't 1 wee fucking ball, hair, crumb of truth in it at all. No. But everything we say is truth. Don't analyse it. Everything the BBC says, complete pack of lies. So anyway, South Africa agenda, we'll be looking at the Truther Industrial Complex propaganda machine, pointing people in the direction of white genocide that's happening in South Africa. I would argue, if you think about that objectively, it's a very politicalised form of propaganda coming from the thrown out apartheid government of South Africa, which was made up of lords and landowners of the old British Empire. And then, for me, this is the pieces of the puzzle that start to fit in to tell me the money trail behind all this crap. So the South Africa agenda, destroying the EU. Whether you're a fan of the EU or agree with it or disagree with it, objectively think, who is the EU's rivals? Who would love the European Union just not to be there tomorrow? And then think to yourself, are these people actually inside my head making me hate the EU for reasons I don't even have? And again, I'm no fan of I don't like centralisation of power. Same shit, different day, AJ. Just him constantly saying the globalists are attacking. The globalists are attacking any day now. I've been hinted off that could happen tomorrow, the week after, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, could even be like 6 months, or it could be 6 years. I've just been told by my sources. I've had lots of sauces, 57 varieties. I've been told by my sources that it's going to happen. So, AJ White House agent. Like, we are the resistance. Resisting what, mate? You're fucking the guy that used Bobby you're sucking is in the White fucking House. AJ's BG for VP. Alex Jonesy's blowjob for Vladolf Putler. London is falling. Right, this is something that pretty much popped up when Tommy Robinson, before he got jailed actually, I'm sure he was talking about London is falling, look what's happening in our capital, we've got a worse nice crime thing than New York. 2 seconds ago you're telling us not to believe the government stats, now you're basing your whole argument on government stats that in the next breath you'll be telling us not to believe. But anyway, then I'll be playing you some music from the Grand Central Lodge. It's coming home. And then, interesting, I'll elaborate on that nearer the time. Then, once we play It's Coming Home in the Grand Central Lodge, we'll be going to Katie, Please Not in Hot Pants, Hopkins, over in Israel, with an I Love Israel t-shirt on, telling you she wants football to come home. Then we'll be going to Loyalist Britain and Make Britain Great Again, or Britain First or something, I can't remember what the name of their group is. The football chant will come back to me shortly. The Satanic Panic, that's a great one, man. I mean, it's one of the trick of religions in general, isn't it? I mean, thank fuck, I never get brought up a Catholic, man, but I witnessed my Catholic pals around me literally getting brought up with the fear of fucking God in them. You know, their parents would get them to behave themselves by putting the fear of God into them. And not just saying that, but literally the fear of fucking God. That's some crazy ass fucked up shit to do to children, in my opinion. Thank fuck I grew up out the fucking cult of religion when I grew up, man. Best decision my mum and dad made for us. Definitely. The Red F.E.A.R. See, again. China's in the crosshairs, what can I say? China is in the crosshairs economically speaking. And how long will it stay just in that bracket? Then it will be the rebranding of UKIP and the alt-right. They're now trying to call themselves classic liberals. So we watched the rebranding from all the usual suspects of the alt-right. Itchy Richie and E17. So talk about a wee bit about Brian Harvey and what's happening now. The guy's made it onto the Sun and stuff. And I do have a opinion, and it might be worth considering or thrown out there into the ether. And we'll finish off with the cult of Tommy Robinson. So hopefully it won't be too long tonight. Famous last words. Oh, right, let's start off with this. This was actually Mike Rivero's live show from tonight, right now. And I've just caught this before going on air. I was going to clip it for next week, but I thought I could do
Northern California. Aloha, Nathan.
This is him taking another one of his random callers into the show.
Welcome to the show. What's on your mind today?
Oh, hi, Mike. Thanks for taking the call. I'll try to...
Really have got the sound quality of like a fucking 64K Spectrum.
Make it real quick for you. Last week you got kind of a crazy phone call from, this guy who was talking about Larry Mizell in Denver, and then he used a little profanity and you had to cut him off.
Yes.
And, I'm sure you remember that, but the only people I have ever heard talk about Larry Mizell in Denver is Stu Webb and Tom Hennigan, and they...
Right, now, what I'm hearing here, people feel free to disagree, whatever universe you're in, you might hear it differently. I'm hearing a caller phoning in and busting this guy for being part of the Truther Industrial Complex. Yeah, you know that member of the public that you allowed on to spew all the anti-Hillary Clinton stuff? Aye, what about? Well, They aren't actually random callers. They actually turn out to be guys who hold their own shows. Then listen to Mike Rivero going to, well, I don't really know these guys. I've never had a working relationship with them. I may have sucked their cocks a couple of times, but no. For me, this was very
had a show, Stu Webb had a show, Truth Warriors or something. I think
Yes.
it's been kicked off of YouTube. But I just thought I'd throw that at you and let you know. Sounded like Stu Webb or Tom Hennigan, and why they would do that, I have no idea.
Well, if you think about my theory of like all these independent alternative journalists not being independent and alternative, they're all part of a coordinated Ponzi scheme, a coordinated propaganda campaign, and of course they all propagate each other's shite and theories left, right and centre. That's how you propagate a message, having many apparently independent sources saying the same shit. It works. That's what the TV media does, isn't it? We've all seen the YouTube videos, and that is what the Truth Industrial Complex does as well. And here's Mike Rivero running cover, duck and cover for
Maybe
that.
it's your own personal business, and I'll leave it at that. But I thought that was pretty, just not a good thing.
I don't have a working relationship with either.
Interesting set of words. I don't have a working relationship with them. So you know the guys. So you think it's a bit weird for the guys to phone up your show, pretend to be somebody else, spout off a conspiracy fucking theory that you agree with, and for you to know who they are and not crack a light. Oh, you fucking bastard.
Yeah, I'm sure you remember that, but the only people is had a show throw that at you, and why this, and I'll leave it. Not a good thing.
I don't have a working relationship with either of those gentlemen. I mean, I know who they are, but
Yeah.
Our paths may have crossed briefly sometime.
Well, I don't have a working relationship. I obviously know who they are. Shit, I can't deny outright not seeing them in case anybody sees the big pictures of their dick hanging out my mouth. Politician training kicking in here, Mike Rivero. I smoked his Bobby, but I didn't inhale. Look, I didn't inhale his Bobby.
In the past, but we're not in a working relationship.
Yeah, well, you did the right thing. Congratulations. And now I got to think of a question to ask you or whatever, but for a comment. The only thing I can think of is...
I just thought that was very telling. But whether it's me seeing Jesus in toast or not, who knows? Invest in baby balloons,
we're going to delve
people.
into this issue of the Sadiq Khan baby balloon. Of course, the big news headlines this week were all about the Donald Trump baby balloon. And in fact, I'm reading a headline here from Spiked.
That is how retarded the cult of Tommy Robinson people are and the cult of anti-Trump are. Let's have a balloon off. My balloon's more offensive than your balloon. Here, you fucking pair of fucking balloons. See those things floating in the sky? They're fucking nowhere near as big as a balloon that's used fucking lot. Bunch of fucking balloons.
Magazine, who's the real baby here? It gets into who's behind this Donald Trump baby balloon. It's a 20-foot baby balloon of Donald Trump in a nappy, which they
20 foot. It's 6.5 foot if fucking that.
plan to fly near the Houses of Parliament when Trump visits.
Look. 12, 13 foot max. You could carry that into a stadium in your back pocket.
This week, despite the fact that Donald Trump isn't going anywhere near London because our conservative and name-only government is so afraid of the protesters who might show up. So basically, they've got this 20-foot balloon ready to fly near the Houses of Parliament. This is what it says about it in this Spiked magazine article, Who's the Real Baby Here? The anti-Trump stunt has been organised by environmental activist Leo Murray, the great-grandson of Labour politician Anthony Greenwood. Murray, who rents...
Right, so, listen to the context of the article. It's shouting down It's running Trump interference for the baby balloon, like, oh, just a bunch of kids, a bunch of childish morons, and these people actually stay in houses. You know, these morons that don't like Trump, they actually stay in houses. And you know what? It's a house in London. Yeah, we all know what that means. It's worth a lot of money. Right, and there is a bit of irony there, right? But what's your point? Let's just follow the narrative here, right? So, okay, I accept what Paul Joseph Watson's parroting here, that it is very childish to fly balloons. It's more than childish. It's backward and retarded.
Out 2 flats in a £1.8 million townhouse in Hammersmith, has written a piece for The Guardian explaining his reasons. Well, of course he has. And basically it goes on to say that on the morning Trump was elected, this guy cried. Oh, boo-hoo, he cried his eyes out. Now he's going to get his revenge by launching this Trump balloon near the Houses of Parliament. Goes on to basically say that they are justified.
Oh, revenge has never been so fucking sweet as a big fucking balloon.
This. They're saying that the motive behind this is because they're fighting back against the establishment. So a project initiated by a super rich member of a political family in London that lives in a cushy townhouse in Hammersmith, £2 million, a project approved by the Mayor of London, that's anti-establishment, is it? No, it isn't. That's ridiculous. It's another Corbynista, upper middle class bourgeoisie pretending to be anti-establishment, pretending to be working class when they're not. This is what...
Methinks you calling other people exactly what you are. Alex Jones, how many millions is worth his fucking house? Alex Jones, his best pal in politics, the fucking leader of the free world, Donald Trump. What does Alex Jones call all the fucking, his fucking mindless cult of followers? The resistance. Resistance to what? The most powerful man in the fucking world?
What we see over and over again. And now we have on the line Yanni Brewer, who is the man behind the response to this, which is the Sadiq Khan baby balloon, which he intends to fly at some point over London over the next few weeks.
Yay! Balloon Wars! And remember, the Trump one is childish and done with people with big houses, £2 million fucking houses. Right, so why is the Sadiq Khan balloon going to be so much better?
It raised over $50,000 now, over £40,000 in basically less than a week. And as I said earlier, they raised more money in significantly less time than the Trump.
Fuck it. I'm joining the alt-right and I'm going to go into the baby balloon making fucking business. I'm going to hold a fucking crowdfunder for a balloon of every politician in the UK, right? And we'll get all the balloons. And then we'll get a big fucking symbolic pin and just start fucking popping all the balloons. And the balloons only cost $2.99 for the pound shop. I know it's for the pound shop, but this pound shop's a weird one. You can buy 3 items and they'll sew them together for you. So you go into the balloon section, flip them an extra wee pound and they'll sew 3 balloons together. And then I'll raise 60,000, fuck it, 100 grand. 100 grand each balloon. With fucking little kids painting them and stuff. And then we'll go and fly our balloons around London and it'll just save the fucking world. We could have ended fucking poverty, fed the homeless, with all the money we arranged for the balloons. But where's the fucking fun of that? Yeah, I get fucking hookers and blow fund I need to fucking top up, man. I want to be selling myself baby balloons. In fact, I want to be doing GoFundMe pages for balloons. In fact, yeah, the devil is in the detail, right? Giant, ambiguous word. It could mean anything. Giant to who? An ant? An amoeba? A person? So just put in giant balloon. $1 million crowdfund. And then it'll just be giant to an ant. We'll just get a wee balloon that size. Just get a regular balloon and draw a motherfucking... Oh, I wish I had a balloon right now. We'll just get a regular balloon and draw a wee face on it. Maybe a nappy as well. And go, okay bitches, here's your balloon. Go and fly that. round and start some fights. Have a great weekend, and thank you for thank you for the 60 grand. Hope you like your balloon. And I'll be living the vida loca. Fucking Houstonia's fucking hookers and blow fund just fucking quadrupled, man. Woo! Hookers and blow all round. Freebies in Houstonia for a good few days. Easily do 60 grand in hookers and blow in 2 days. Easy. And that's the finest hookers that Glasgow has to offer. But I need to get in the balloon business.
Baby balloon with virtually zero media coverage and absolutely
Zero media coverage? InfoWars has been covering this since they fucking found out about it, and according to InfoWars, they're the biggest fucking thing ever invented ever, and they're realer than any other mainstream media. Man, the contradictions going through Joe Fro fucking Watson's fucking, 2.5 minutes of bullshit? It's phenomenal, man.
fantastic effort. They beat them. They're still not getting the record.
So, Trump balloon, childish. Sadiq Khan balloon, oh, fucking Fandabi, fucking dozy effort.
Recognition they deserve. But Yanni Brewer, welcome to the show.
Cool, thanks for having me, Paul.
And this isn't media coverage, you know? This won't get all the cult of Alex Jones, the Truth for Industrial Complex cult, running off to fucking go and pay for a fucking balloon. Did you see that stupid Trump balloon? Yeah, I'll need to brush up in my knowledge of the balloon making business, you know what I mean? But right now, my knowledge is very close to zero. How much did that guy get away with fucking crowdsourcing for that Trump balloon? I already think he's left the fucking country. Fucking living the vida loca somewhere for a couple of months on the back of fucking some donuts who thought it was a good idea to fucking... No, honestly though, this is where the Machiavellian minded really come in. And right, hold on. Going to be 150,000 morons out in the fucking street over this weekend. I need to be making some fucking coin off that. What should I do? Write a book and get it advertised on the Truth for Industrial Complex? Or should we fly a balloon? A balloon! Let's do a balloon.
Now, first, I just want to ask you about what inspired you to start this project, and going beyond just flying the balloon, what's the ultimate plan for this project?
Well, the ultimate plan is what we call celebrity balloon wars. And we just get one balloon and another balloon, and then we get a big, fuck, I can't do that voice. And we get a big fucking wrestling ring, and then we've already got, that's called sumo wrestling. But this will be like blow up balloons, man.
Yeah, so I mean, in the project, the reason for doing this, I mean, was I was really annoyed at Khan's willingness to insult the most powerful man in the Western world, Donald Trump. You know, he's a friend of Britain.
And the first thing that popped into my head, aha, balloon. You know, see when somebody really upsets me, oh, breaking my heart there, Snowflake. The first thing that pops into my head is I need to get their face on a baby balloon.
He's half British himself, and we need those kind of friends after Brexit. So I was really irritated by it, and the fact that Sadiq Khan thinks that he can say that Donald Trump isn't welcome, or the President of the United States, a great ally of ours, isn't welcome.
Should have put your fucking teeth in, pal.
To London or to the UK on our behalf when he's not elected to represent us is really frustrating and irritating. So I wanted to.
Hello! Sadiq Khan was elected, you fucking twat. By Londoners, right enough. But that's because he's the mayor of London.
Address the serious issue of free speech as well, in a light-hearted way. And I thought the best way to do that would be a tit-for-tat move, and see if Sadiq Khan is willing to have a giant blimp of himself, caricature of himself, and permit his own insulting mockery in the name of free speech. And moving beyond... Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
This guy was planning on like taking to the streets and voicing his anger at Speaker's Corner and stuff, and then somebody went up to him and, "Here, mate, you speak a bit funny. I wouldn't do too much public speaking. You sound like you've got dentures in or something."
No, I was going to say, and beyond this, you know, I think everyone's had enough of Sadiq Khan in terms of the crime and him trying to talk on our behalf, and.
Oh man. man. And again, I'll just bring in the future, just so you can see the interlinking. Where's London is fallen? The interlinking agendas.
I've lived in London for nearly...
God, man, I never knew this guy presented videos like this. It's so fucking annoying. The Iron Giant, I'll get to that later.
Like you said, what's the bigger reason behind it? The bigger reason is to try and remove Khan from office. He's clearly not fit to be mayor. We've seen that with the soaring crime rates in London, and his failure and unwillingness to address those serious issues.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but you plan to have some kind of event. I don't know how much you want to get into this, but you plan on having some kind.
Paul Joseph Watson needs. Do you need a wee bit? How the fuck can you be so pale in the UK after the summer we've just fucking had? This English prick is whiter looking than a fucking Peely Valley Scotsman. What's going on with you, fucking Jewfro?
Kind of event which draws attention to the massive violent crime problems we've been having in London. Is that correct?
We've been having in London. Yo, Watson. That's like me commenting on what's happening in London. We have no fucking idea. All we've got is the Truth Industrial Complex version and the mainstream media, who we're all both in agreement are liars, version of what's going on here. And government stats, who we're only allowed to believe them when they fit whatever narrative you're trying to spin.
Yeah, so the idea is to synchronise the Baby Khan balloon, blimp, and have it airborne at this event. The event will be Make London Great, Make London Safe Again, sorry. It'll be sometime in August. We're kind of working on the exact...
Wow, man, they've really rinsed this meme to the maximum. Make my butthole great again! Woo! Make my nostrils great again! Woo! Yeah, baby! Unlimited fucking possibilities with that meme.
Details of it. But it'll be sometime in August, with the aim of trying to make London safe again. And of course, London can't be safe with Sadiq Khan as mayor.
Now let's talk about the media attention, because as I mentioned earlier, you made more money in less time than the Trump baby balloon, despite the fact that they basically had a week or more of sustained intense media coverage. How interested has the mainstream media been in your project?
Yeah, so we went live on Thursday. Today's Tuesday, so 5 days. We've made 40,000. I think the Trump balloon has made about 27,000 in over a month. So it has been quite astonishing, really. The mainstream media, after yourself,
Our balloon's more successful than your balloon. Our balloon's more successful than your balloon. Man, this is the level of the argument.
got involved. I had a couple of messages from a few people yesterday and today. It's picked up a little bit on the Victoria Derbyshire show tomorrow at the BBC. The Sun have contacted me. I think the I newspaper in the UK have done a piece. But it's obviously nowhere near as much as the baby Trump balloon.
So it was only after you started making serious money and getting this funded that they actually had to pay attention to it. You got more money in 3 days than they got in 30 days. Absolutely monumental effort. But
So Trump balloon, childish, and this guy's balloon, monumental effort. And remember, Paul Joseph Watson's telling you about what the mainstream media, hold on, he's in Victoria, Derbyshire, The Sun, I newspaper, oh shit, he's all over the mainstream media. They forced to cover it. The same time I was forced to cover it because he started making lots of money.
With this Trump
just pulled that out his arse.
Visit, we've had, I've spoken to people in UKIP and others who've said, they've tried to have Trump welcoming street parties or celebrations, not even protests. They're being told no by the police. Obviously, the police have authorized these giant protests to take place on Friday. Sadiq Khan has authorized the blimp to go up on Friday. Would he have approved a giant inflatable black Barack Obama baby blimp flying over Parliament? This is the question. And
no, but he may have approved a giant white Barack Obama baby. It's just mental why you fucking had to throw in the black there. I don't know. It was just very telling.
Has he already approved your balloon, or is that still in the works?
That's still in the works, and no, of course he wouldn't have approved a baby Obama, would he? It just wouldn't have happened. I saw that today he was on the is it a Great Morning Britain show or something with Piers Morgan? And Piers Morgan asked him, he said, you know, if someone makes a baby blimp of you or you as a pig caricature, would you be willing to fly? And he said, if it's a safe and peaceful demonstration, then yes. So based on that, you know, I don't see any reason why it won't go ahead. And I think he's kind of pigeonholed himself a little bit.
Well, mate, they'll probably have the ammunition pointing at the Tommy Robinson army, the violence that follows them everywhere, and that possibly maybe give them the grounds to shut your stupid balloon down.
In terms of his manoeuvres now.
So he's basically backed himself into a corner. What exactly?
Backed themselves into the corner. My God, they're actually arguing about fucking balloons.
The Democrats were coming out saying, well, the hashtag walk away thing is a ploy by Russia before the midterms to try to convince people not to vote Democrat. And I'm sitting there thinking, it's 2 years on now. The more Russia stuff had...
I'm sitting there just going, yes, the United States, the UK, every country in the world has spies and propaganda projects in their enemies' countries and stuff. But no, Russia doing sorting out stupid ass fucking memes and propagating them to mindless morons to start chanting when they don't even understand what it means. No, Russia don't do anything like that ever point. No. I smell a rat if somebody can't even consider that for 1 fucking second.
At its heyday, the Mueller probe has fundamentally failed and has
fundamentally failed, just like your tits.
Become nothing more than an investigation into Manafort laundering.
This is what the Fonz would look at. This is one of the rejects from the Fonzie.
Money 10 years ago. And you're still sticking with the Russia line. Now, let me ask this. How good a political strategy do you think it is to prevent yourself from formulating a sane platform? There's like one plank in the Democrats' platform, which is, hey, we're not Donald Trump. Oh yeah, by the way, they're sexist and Kavanaugh's an evil person, even though we didn't know who he was a few days ago. You think that it's good to not bother with a platform? You're not...
I can't look at that guy too much. Doesn't make your skin crawl ever so slightly. But again, it's pointing at this lack of ability to consider that Russia has a dog in the fight in in their enemies' elections. And the elections of the members of the European Union. The lack of ability to even consider that for 1 second. Should get your alarm bells going. Anybody who's doing properly critical thinking about all these stories we get told, to critically and objectively think about things, you have to, well, you don't have to do anything. What I find is run through all the possibilities, even the ones from the ones that you think most likely probable and most less likely probable. And if running through scenarios in your head, you can never consider one person, one actor in the story being an arsehole, then maybe you've been propagandised by that arsehole. Oh, no. I'm fucking the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, and fucking Tinkerbell all rolled into one. I'm fucking the sun shines out my arse. Just like Putin and Trump.
Not bothered.
Anyway, that's enough of his pigeon tits.
17 years. You'd be hard-pressed to find a bigger fan of what...
Who does he get to do these voices? A couple of weeks ago I was showing when he wrote a comment to himself using a burner account, but he forgot to change these accounts. He wrote a big comment. It was from his account. He thought he'd changed it and pretending to be a girl answering himself. See, if you just watch this guy, you can see it's just all contrived. I can't anyway, I'm sorry. For me, watching this dude, it's a bad episode of Love Island. It's not as a good one. But it's like fucking EastEnders. It's the worst actor in EastEnders you've ever seen.
What was the greatest city in the world? In recent years, especially since the investment of Sadiq Khan.
Sadiq Khan?
on as the most ineffectual and ideologically demented mayor of the city, I am...
And look... Yes. I'm considering that in my philosophical mind here.
I'm now refusing to pay council tax. I voted for Brexit and proudly proclaimed that amongst my peers I support Trump, and I'm fed up with the socialist dictatorship that this country has become, particularly under the even more disastrous stewardship of Theresa May. I'm calling in...
Disastrous stewardship of Theresa May, calling the government socialists. That is not the language of somebody in the UK. It isn't. Nobody from any class that I'm aware of in the UK would word anything like that. It sounds like a fucking American. Not to mention the dude that's fucking used doing the voiceover is getting a Yankee Doodle Dandy accent. This isn't a British person saying this shit.
To find out how I can stand up to the authorities and argue my case that I do not need to pay council tax when my culture is being stolen from me right under my eyes. That's from Martin.
So, Martin, how's it going? Pretty rough decade for the old UK, right? Oh, hello. You might need to unmute, my friend.
Can't hear you, Martin.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
There we go. All right, all set.
Okay, good start. He sounds a wee bit English.
Is the sound okay?
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
Great. It's been a rough 15 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to stab in the dark here, and this guy has a problem saying he's ours.
Yeah, it has. It has. I mean, I wasn't kidding when I was talking about Sadiq Khan, what was it, 2 years ago, and said, well, can't go home again.
I actually, I'm in a really difficult position to speak right now because I don't know how many callers do this, but
I just took a shit.
Just listening to the last caller, I'm completely baffled.
Woo! Here, mate, you best wake up before you start fucking calling in and saying you're no better figure out where you are before you start trying to stop paying council tax. And hey, just refuse to pay it and go and do the days in the clink. Simple as. People have done it. That's the fucking outcome. And it doesn't take a lot of research. But it was the London Fallen meme that has been getting put out by Tommy Robinson. This Boulder fucking nut dome cunt trying to tell you what Sadiq Khan is and isn't and what's happening here in the fucking UK. Give me a break. Fuck off, the Iron Giant. So let's see the South Africa agenda.
I'm a young white South African man living in one of the major cities. Having grown up in a country which is the so-called Rainbow Nation, the post-apartheid miracle...
It's a good format to just start spreading shite about any country. You just get some random cunt to write fucking... this is not long after him being caught writing messages to himself. Okay, Boulder Dome. Anyway, talking about South Africa and the propagation of the white genocide in South Africa, which I believe comes from elements of the old apartheid Australian government. If you can paint that picture to somebody, that the messaging for a white genocide happening in South Africa, if it was going to come from anywhere, with people with the influence and ability to get messaging out through the media, I would argue it's the old apartheid government. And then when you sprinkle on top of that, who's doing the propaganda? Katie Hopkins has been over there. Sugar Tits has been over there. Northern Sutherland. This guy's now touching on it. None of them have fucking lived in South Africa and witnessed any fucking genocide whatsoever. But they're all here on the YouTubes propagating it. Anyway, that's the South Africa agenda. Destroy the EU. I remember the good old days when it was Boris Yeltsin. Who was the guy with the bird shit in his head? I think it was Boris Yeltsin. I'm sure it's Boris Yeltsin. Everybody will know who I'm talking about. Bird shit. Bird shit, man. Bird shit on his seed, man. I remember the good old days when it was the BBC showing you footage of that guy fucking steaming out his tits and falling off of things and all that. Right? RT doing the same stuff as the BBC while pretending they're the Truther channel. That's quite funny though, let's watch it. Hey man, yo! I fucking love you, man! I fucking love you, man! You're the best guy fucking ever, man! Then they even put on some fucking funky music. Play that funky music, white boy! Play that funky music, right? Is that racist, white boy? Big bucks, small bucks. He smashed out his tits. But again, no surprises coming from RTE. It's just funny to laugh at. But of course, RT are doing that because they're telling you the truth. Destroy the EU. Same shit, different AJ.
They need a crackdown on the internet. And I've said they're going to build up towards the end of the summer.
My God, how long have they been censoring you for me? And you're fucking still fucking here. When's the last day of the apocalypse? We've got 72 hours to save the world, man. You need to phone in. You need to buy brain force and DNA juice, and I've got lip dick fucking pills. Yeah, you have to do it, man. We've got 72 hours to save the republic, man.
Summer into the fall with fake indictments, all of this, beating the drum. The summer of rage.
The fat. I know a great euphemism for him, and it's the fat homeless man that cried wolf. I'm sure that's it. Fat. Everybody knows that. Everybody's been told about the fat homeless man that cried wolf when you were younger. Remember, it's about a fat homeless tramp. Looks a bit like AJ here. Stays in the streets and he's constantly just going around going, wolf! Wolf! New World Order! Wolf! Wolf! And at first everybody thought he was telling us about a New World Order werewolf. Then he's changed the story and told us about the Y2K, and then it was the Illuminati, then it was, I don't know, but, the fat homeless man that cried wolf. We just want him to go back to crying wolf.
Activating all their Antifa, their communists, you name it.
We're activating Megatron's Antifa. Yeah, activate the Antifatrons.
And then they are going to try to set the precedent to have the 25th Amendment take place to remove the president ahead of a military coup, or have them claim 25th Amendment during a coup and then have members of the cabinet at least play ball with the Democrats and claim that they're going along with it. But then those individuals will also...
I'd believe the fat homeless man a wee bit more if he addressed it as a counter coup. Because the people that are trying to overthrow Trump, they're the old power elite. And they were ousted through a coup d'etat. It's the word's Australian. Go and look it up. Order it in a restaurant. Tastes beautiful. A coup d'etat has happened in America. And one crime boss has replaced the head of another crime family. And Alex Jones is a propagandist for one of these crime families. And that's why these people can't tell you the truth. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Let's get back to Fat Homeless Man. Chicken Little.
So be set up and removed as well. Because the Democrats, a year and a half ago in Atlantic Monthly, put out a plan to the establishment of how they would do this. First, remove Trump, get Republicans to go along with it out of fear. Then they'll overturn the entire 2016 election, have home...
Yeah, you get everybody to go along with like fear. Buy my water fucking coolers or you're gonna die. Bone cancer just by drinking water. You need the Alexa Pure. Fucking boner pills. Tells you about radiation and then sells you fucking iodine pills. And he can still sit up. I don't even. You can't tell if he's got a straight face anymore. He's got a fucking dead raccoon, fucking hibernating on his face.
Homeland Security under Democrat control come in and take control of future elections. We'll be like Venezuela and never have a new real election again.
What about the United? I thought the United Nations blue helmets were coming in.
Of Congress, former head of the CIA, former deputy director of the FBI, they're all on the news, and Fox News is agreeing, saying remove President Trump from office. He is a Russian agent. They're saying remove President Trump from office with no evidence, total fraud. They are calling for the military to have a coup against the president. And then Brian Stelter, strangely enough, comes out and does a 5-minute piece calling for me to be removed from the air because I say they're making a move on the president. Meanwhile, I said, hey, watch the House Judiciary Committee hearings on censoring conservatives where they're calling for it. We turn on the YouTube live feed of it 5 minutes ago, and they're talking about me saying I said nobody died at Parkland and I bullied these students. Total lie.
It's not a total lie at all. It's not a total lie at all. Anybody who watches Alex Jones continually know exactly the fucking picture he was building in fucking people's nuts. Feeding on people's fear and everything was... Ah, man. I remember when YouTube was all about everything's fake and anything that happened, people would go over the footage, literally replaying the doom. Like, look at this person's head falling off. It's clearly a dummy. I mean, look at the bone and blood. That's clearly a bit of bread and tomato sauce. And like, I've never actually seen it. I've never actually seen a genuine head kind of half cut off in front of me. I've got nothing to compare it to, and I'm not a video forensic analyst dude. But say it convincingly enough and get you in the cult of truth, where if you go against the cult of truth, you're clearly Illuminati shell. And then you might find yourself turning into a nodding dog and getting sucked in with the mass hypnosis propagated by Alex Jones.
Criminals making their move on this country. Now, what do they do when they get ready to launch a coup against the president? With the media backing whatever small...
Well, I don't know. If they were going to launch a coup in America, you would propagandise a small army in the country. And let's say you would do it using the media of the internet because it was the Wild West and you could more easily propagandise people. Then what you would do is you would get your wee army together to just turn against everything in authority. As if like they're all the first. Let's you get it into their head that the people that are in charge of you aren't human beings, or they aren't corrupt scumbag human beings, but they're literal demons. They're a disease on the planet. Then what you might do is also tell your small army how good guns are. And just a coincidence, here's a wee fucking voucher code for my gun shop and go and buy some cheap guns. So you would gather up an army, you'd get them well armed, well rationed, tangy tangerine and fucking unperishable foods. Throw in a wee bit of combat training that InfoWars would be able to sell you as well. Then get them jacked up on all these fucking supplements that they probably can't fucking think straight. Rather than just telling them to go to eat healthy, get your vitamins and minerals from the web of humans have got them naturally. Nah, here's a pill for this, a pill for that, a pill for this, and here's a fucking thing you need to drink water out of as well. That's what I would do if I was creating a coup. Then I would get them also to think that if you're not with us, you're an evil, satanic paedophile from hell that smells like sulphur. You know, like dehumanise human beings. Make it easier for you to shoot your AR-15 at them if it comes to that. That's what I would do. Oh, hold on, Alex Jones has already done that. Oh, he's already done that. He's already created, armed, manipulated. Fuck knows how many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Americans. That's, I don't know. That actually seems quite sensible for somebody from the outside wanting to have a coup d'etat in America. But no, Alex Jones is going to start from the counter coup. You know, half the fucking story.
Paramilitary force, they get to do it. They'll still say that represents our military, and they hope to bluff the military into going along with it. We are literally in the middle of history right now. They're making their move. They need a crack.
He's getting millions of middles of history. We've been in the middle of history since he started.
Down on the internet. And I've said they're going to build up towards the end of the summer, into the fall, with fake indictments, all of this, beating the drum.
End of the summer, end of the fall, anytime soon. 6 days, 6 months, 6 years. If anything happens in that time frame, I called it. I predicted it.
Summer of rage. They're activating all their Antifa, their communists, you name it. And then they are going to try to set the precedent to have the 25th Amendment take place to remove the president ahead of a military coup, or have them claim 25th Amendment during a coup and then have members of the cabinet at least play ball with the Democrats and claim that they're going along with it. But then those individuals will also be set up and removed as well. Because the Democrats, a year and a half ago in Atlantic Monthly,
a year and a half ago in the lying mainstream press, they said something I agree with, and it was true. The stuff in the press I agree with, true. Everything else is lies. Anyway, that was same shit, different AJ.
She's a smart guy, media analyst, lawyer. During the break, and I said, "This when humanity's awakening." And he said, "Well, they hold the keys to the kingdom. They have Apple transferred to China, now banning emojis of Taiwan. Your phone crashes. They just aren't willing to implement the censorship fully because they're afraid Congress and Trump might call them out." And when I've talked to the White House and the president and his supporters lately, I've said, please, they're censoring, they're doing it, do something. They're like, well, what are they doing? Write us a report. So I'm in the process of doing that, but it's here. And so they are ready to launch on all cylinders, ladies and gentlemen. They're ready.
Can you imagine the report you get from Alex Jones?
To try to shut this whole thing down right now. And so I wanted Mike Cernovich to specifically speak to that.
So the head of the resistance is writing a report for the White House. Remember, you are the resistance. Resisting what? Nothing anymore, but hey, it just sounds cool. And it reminds people of the Terminator.
But here's Putin on George Soros is involved. He's the one spending tens of billions per election publicly. He's the one trying to overthrow Russia. Here it is.
But
this is, you know, you accuse a child of something, and this is what used to happen when I was younger. The mum and dad would catch a kid doing something, right, and there would only be one kid out of 3 or 4 siblings that get caught doing this, and the wee kid would get caught and go, "But I stole 2 sweeties." Now the way my dad used to operate is like, "Me cunt likes fucking telltales, boom." You know what I mean? Don't snitch on your fucking brothers and sisters. But ultimately, because what you would end up with, and you can, ultimately what you would end up with is a bunch of children pointing at each other and going, "Yeah, well, they lied 3 times, but he lied 4 times. Well, he got a balloon this big, and we got a balloon that big, and look, they said this, and this." Oh my god, it's like fucking children arguing with each other. Nobody's talking about like what's really going on.
Company does not constitute the Russian state. It does not represent the Russian state. And I brought several examples before. Well, you have a lot of individuals in the United States. Take George Soros, for instance, with multi-billion capitals. But does that make him...
Now, does the demonization that's happened through the truther industrial complex of Soros now come in more into focus? Soros funds the political adversaries of these two. They don't want to talk about who funds these 2 pricks and who funnels all the money out to the UK column, InfoWars, and all the rhyming repeaters cult of fucking Alex Joneses out there. They don't want to talk about that. They would just, look, Soros is doing it.
his position, his posture, the posture of the United States? No, it does not. Well, it's the same case. There is the issue of trying a case in the court. And the final, the final say.
Notice Putin saying, oh, go ahead and try it in your court, see if my agents were involved, because he knows they already filed that fake law.
Yeah. Oh, you can get the exact same story off a UK column if you've missed it. I go around the whole truth industrial complex. Same, pretty much all the same stuff about the Putin and Trump meeting. Sure, this should be alright. Sweet lines on the shirt. Now, Football Association, founded not too far around the corner from that in the Free Masonic Tavern. I don't think it's there anymore. It's not. I think it's Fleet Street it was on, but you can go and check that out. I didn't watch that one. But it was interesting. There was 2 years ago. They don't put much up on this channel. But they also put up David Bowie's Life on Mars. And that's the official United Grand Lodge of England website. YouTube channel, sorry. So, Katie, please not in hot pants. Put this one first. This is crazy.
What is this about? Can you tell me?
هذا man.
Yes.
فلسطيني.
Yeah, this is a Palestinian man. And this is a bullet hole, I think.
Yes.
Yes. So this is a Palestinian man. He's trying to get the
water there.
Yeah, but he can't. Why can't the Palestinian man get any more water?
I'd love to know the real translation of that. The Jews are stingy. Oh, see, Scots are the fucking Jews.
Because.
Yeah, don't try and coach the kid into saying what you want too much, Katie. Because point at the fat Jew on the wall.
هو ماخذ كل الووتر في بلدنا بس معطينا نقطة واحدة.
So this guy has got all the water.
Yes.
This guy's got all the water and that guy's got none of the water.
Yeah.
It's not so much anti-Semitic graffiti as in hieroglyphs of a historical event. A.k.a. before the Jews rocked up, there was plenty of water. Then they fenced it all off and don't fucking give it back to the people. This isn't even... I don't know. Anyway, but I thought this was shameless.
I'm here in Palestine getting the...
Oh man, menopausal women scaring me. Capable anything.
So we have our own administration, which is, we'll call it like a public community. Keep calling us as a refugee, and to keep the history here, we refuse to be part of Bethlehem municipality.
Yes, and so how does it work with things? So I'm now thinking about if this is a normal town, which it kind of is. Yeah. How does it work with things like police and fire response? Where's
this is like from the Palestinian Authority.
From the Palestinian Authority.
From the Palestinian Authority.
And what do you have a view about the Palestinian leadership? Is there a leader that you support or like? How does that work, or not so much?
Most of the people in the camp, they are like part of the political situation. Like when we are talking about the Palestinian refugees, like we like it's the most people who are involved with the political organization, political party. Most of the Palestinian leaders, they grow up in a refugee camp, and because we are the people who are following and carrying the story from the beginning, and until now we're still active. And when we go to the camp, if you ask the little kids,
yes,
he will tell you like he's Fatah or Hamas or
Yes.
any other political party.
Will they go? Will some support Hamas or feel passionately,
Yes.
or maybe would people support Hamas? If you're a Hamas, so if I think about it in the States, if I'm a Trump supporter, I wouldn't tell anyone because you know a lot of people have to keep it secret. If you're a Hamas supporter here, is that something you can be publicly a
Yes.
Hamas supporter? It's totally fine.
Yes.
It's totally.
Yes.
Is it seen
Like
as
those people, they will be. Most of them they have been arrested. Most of them they have been, يعني in the prison. But most of them they're still proud or strong enough to say that we are Hamas.
Hamas? Yes. And would you? Where do you sit on that, or do you have to
On
keep?
Fatah side? No.
No.
I'm not scared or shy to say like I am part of Fatah movement.
Yes, and that's fine. Yeah, I didn't know if you had to like have a position
You
because
don't
of
have.
your role.
You don't have to, but most of the Palestinians they are part of. Like I'm proud and strong. I'm not shy. I'm not afraid to say I am part of Fatah movement.
It's interesting, isn't it, how you say I'm not scared or frightened to say my view, and
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by people in Western Europe, in these democracies, who couldn't possibly express their own view. That's a real.
Yeah, like I have been political.
Yeah, they're so scared to express their view in the UK that, I don't know, 40, 50,000 of them turned up. Aye, like, definitely, like, she's bang on the money.
Prisoner for 3 years because I am part of Fatah.
You have?
Yeah. The political life in the prison. So you study, you read.
Yeah.
Like I learned English in the prison, by the way. I graduated from high school. I didn't know what the difference between is and was.
Yeah. Your English is
I use
awesome.
my time.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yes.
Is this? Forgive me if I'm wrong, but is this an example of people building?
Exactly.
So this would be granddad.
Yes.
Then next up would be the
Son
next
and
family,
son. And that's why you see the construction. It did not finish in the camp. People still building.
They're still going upwards.
It's still going
so
up.
how many stories is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5.
So if you look to this.
Oh wow, these dirty brown people, they can build houses into the sky. Oh.
Floor, the first one. Or we see like let's talk about that one up over there. I told you about like after the tent, the United Nations they proposed to build for us a concrete house.
Yes.
So this is maybe the last concrete house have been built by the United Nations, and nobody built on top of it. Like this one, this room.
This room. Oh, this one
This
here.
one.
Sorry, United Nations built this. Hey,
Ah.
hi. I'm so tempted.
Damn it! I thought that was a wee jihadi gunning down Katie not in hot pants.
To run after him, I can't even tell you. I'm like, yay, let's play. So this one.
This room.
She is fucking menopausal fruit.
Yeah, this room we call it like a union. Like imagine the camp back in the 60s. All the camp we looked like this.
This is what you talked about. This single story house built by the.
So when the United Nations proposed to build for us this concrete.
Built by the United Nations. They're the ones supporting these dirty Palestinians.
House. Imagine first we refused. Then we accept the concrete house but without the concrete ceiling. So we lived under 5 or 6 years with these walls but with a plastic ceiling, kind of refusing this temporary
this
or
idea
mentally
of permanence. So you said, all right, we'll have the house but no roof.
Exactly.
That seems a little crazy if I'm honest.
Later on, yes. No, because we refused.
I want to chase him, but I'm not allowed. Okay, sorry. I'm not allowed to chase you.
I wanted to punch.
HRT, stop!
I know, it's all right.
Then
you can punch on
when people like lost hope of return, or like my family became more and more and couldn't continue their daily life in this kind of houses, either they start building on top of it or demolish it.
Anyway, get the idea about Katie Hot Pants is doing down there. Oh God, hopefully that's the one. Should have been organised a bit better.
Under myself for arrest here this morning.
Right. For ages trying to talk about who Tommy Robinson and all the people pushing that message are. I've talked about the language of the language used by loyalists in this country, it's a very Pacific language, and you hear it a lot. You begin to recognise it if you grow up around it, and you begin to see who these people are, who they're loyal to, and what cause. And you might think, guy just loves a lovely orange t-shirt. But this is him talking about the cops pulling him up for bail conditions because he's trying to fuck off to Ireland for the marching season.
However, what they probably wanted was for me to go to an airport with an arrest warrant live, be arrested at the airport.
Right. It's not subliminal messaging going on here or anything. The guy's telling you he's a proud loyalist and he's fucking off to Northern Ireland to support the marches and all that. Well, wanting the UK's sovereignty returned to the United Kingdom, but don't want the sovereignty of Northern Ireland to be returned to Ireland. The hypocrisies, double-speaking, fucking bullbaggery of these people are unbelievable. They haven't got a moral compass. They're just blindly loyal to people for what reason, they don't know why. Typically, football teams, religion, are just a fucking stupid flag.
So that I wouldn't be able to go over to Northern Ireland for the 12th of July celebrations. This was all a big ruse to try and stop me going over to Northern Ireland, as I'm allowed to, for the 12th of July celebrations. So I've come here this morning, we've spoken to the officers, they've said the arrest warrant has been rescinded and you're now a free man, please go on your way. Absolute disgrace, the runaround.
You can go and fill yourselves in on the details on your own time if you fancy. Is this worthwhile? Mock the right mob really need to brush up on their way of how to insult people. Look at his face! I do insults in commission. Mock the right.
I want to provide a quick video update of this ridiculous nonsense that's I've been subjected to for the last week. I mean, this is just pure harassment. Considering what the judge just said, it's absolute, pure, politically motivated harassment. So, last Thursday, I get a phone call from a sergeant at Bexley Heath Police Station saying, you're in my jurisdiction, there's an arrest warrant out for you. Can you hand yourself into Bromley Police Station tomorrow morning? Bromley Magistrates Court has issued a warrant because you've breached your probation rules. So the next morning, I hand myself into Bromley Police Station and the inspector and the sergeant and the people at the front desk all tell me there is no arrest warrant out for you. It's been rescinded. I'm like, okay, fair enough, I'll go on my way. Monday morning, you've probably seen the CCTV footage. There is no...
I'll summarise. The cops are fucking with this guy something proper, because he's a one-man walking fucking riot. If you poke the cops with a stick and cause them fucking unpaid overtime work, and the risk of getting beat up in the fucking line of keeping two bunch of fucking idiots apart, you best might think they'll want to come down and fuck with you, because you're fucking with them. It's like natural law. And this guy is sitting there going, the courts are corrupt, the police are corrupt, and I can't believe why the police are hassling me. Come on.
No prohibition on Mr. Golding travelling to Northern Ireland. Blah, 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 but he has to let his probation officer know where he's staying. Regardless of all of this, they still decided to prosecute me. So I'll just read some extra bits and bobs out from the...
They're pinning you down with bureaucracy. They're fucking with you with just accusations and paperwork.
The breach report that I was handed. And this is where their case falls apart. And this is where you know this is what they was trying to stop. They were trying to stop me going over for the 12th of July celebrations in...
Which they did.
Northern Ireland. So it said... These plans would mean that Mr. Golding would be in Belfast on the 12th of July 2018, which marks the start of marching season in Northern Ireland. Britain First have previously allied themselves with unionist groups in Northern Ireland, and I have concerns that the date of travel is connected to the marching season and could have an impact on community safety.
Right, so it's legalese, right? Big enough lawyer, you can argue anything, it's all ambiguous bullshit. So I could see the argument that fat cunt bouncing over to Northern Ireland for the Northern Irish marching season could put even more of a stress on community safety, because he's an aggravator. So, aye.
So the final section is the conclusion and recommendation. The recommendation of the National Probation Service is that I be committed to prison for 14 days. It even says in their guidelines that they're supposed to give a formal warning if they feel that I'm going to breach my post-sentence supervision. No warning was given. They went straight to court and they recommend to the court that I be sent to prison for 14 days. To his credit, the judge looked at all of this evidence and just said, quashed it.
To his credit, the judge was like, yeah, I'm on bouncing my private jet, I'm going over for them fucking march as well.
Right there and then. Case thrown out. And the prosecution, who I spoke to, the probation prosecution, it was even looking at all the evidence thinking, what the hell is going on here? So you can see this was just a blatant, naked attempt to stop me going over for the 12th of July celebrations. And it is also just another example of state-sponsored, politically motivated harassment that all political...
It's not state-sponsored. You're causing the cops fucking more work.
Leaders, political patriot leaders in this country that we all have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. But, you know, we've now got a victory against the probation service, and I'm speaking to my civil lit solicitors. We're going to try and sue them for damages.
Fucking dress code. Somebody sue him for that fucking t-shirt. And let's have a wee bit of satanic panic.
How come Maxine Waters keeps hollering impeach 45, impeach 45? Why is Nancy Pelosi? Why is Joe Biden? Why is Dianne Feinstein? Why is Chuck Schumer? Why are all of these guys...
Why are your teeth so pearly fucking white compared to what they used to be back in the day, Pastor?
Hanging on. I mean, what
are those God's given teeth you've got there?
Are they hanging on?
Is that God's given laptop?
On for why?
Is that God's given fat I'm living fucking well body?
Why don't they retire? Why don't they go away?
Why doesn't God give you the ability to save yourself one less hamburger a day at a time?
How come they're still there? Because they thought the new world order was going to be already in play. Instead, there must have been some gray-haired grandmothers praying the whole year of 2016.
Yeah, praying.
God, send revival to America. God, don't let us fall into the hands of the treasonous enemy. So when I tell you that Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin are taking on the New World Order, they are.
Wow.
Really, really are. It is. We have an Antichrist lurking among us, folks. And these old senators...
Now, think there's genuine people out there that think he's a fucking some sort of a connection to God and what he's saying. There's anything other than complete propagandistic bullshit. Imagine being that much in the cult of Paul Beagley that you believe this guy. Now, it sounds bizarre because he's a very hard guy to believe, but then think of the other people out there that you might blindly believe, and you might be in that their cult.
And congressmen that won't go away, it's because they thought they were going to see the glory of the Luciferian. They thought their time had come.
God
Folks, let me tell you, you and I, we're in for the fight of our lives.
Yes.
Remember, Paul Beagley, independent from this guy. It's a sheer coincidence to use all the same rhetoric and talking about the same shit while polishing Donald Trump's cock.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, tell us, is that the number we call to give you money?
If these people get...
These people, have they got names? Just these people? Is it the demons amongst us? Is it the Antichrist?
Power in this country again? You and I are toast.
Ooh, hold on, this is a new bit of jeopardy. Not only, like, if I don't buy now, I won't get the 99 fucking cent fucking discount. If I don't buy this guy's fucking gobshite bullshit, we're all done for!
We're done. Do you understand that? If they regain power, you and I are history.
That's a good one. That's all I needed to hear. Give me my AR-15 and my tub of tangy tangerine. I'm taking to the streets.
They're coming after us. They will never again allow a challenge to their corrupt regime. Never again. They will exterminate all opposition. Take my word for it.
Aye, take this fucking guy's word for it. He's telling you people are coming to fucking kill you. Don't overthink this or anything. Just start acting fucking crazy and protect yourself. AR-15 and just start shooting liberals.
We're in a very dangerous time. These people are
the end times.
Ruthless. They're murderers. They're perverts. They're pedophiles. They're the worst scum that's ever crawled on this planet.
So they're not humans then, they're demons.
And they're dangerous. And they're frightened right now. They're in a panic state because they're out of power.
You seem frightened right now. You and Paul Beagley and this guy, they all seem dead frightened.
And they're doing everything possible.
And they're dangerous, and they're doing everything in their power to try and win your loyalty.
Possible. If President Trump is coming home with evidence from the Russians of $400 million being transferred into the Clinton campaign illegally, do you know how many people will go down? How many powerful individuals will go down and be arrested, imprisoned? These people are in a state of panic right now. Their corrupt regime is falling apart, and they will do anything to hold on to power.
Yes. Maybe Donald Trump's coming under pressure, and all these propagandists are under extreme pressure to try and jack up the Trump fans out there into a state of a civil war mindset,
including exterminating their domestic opponents and exterminating their international opponents, because they're driven with madness, total madness. When you reject God, you're opening your mind to madness. And these people have
when you blindly accept some cunt else's version of God, you've just became a fucking... What's the word I'm looking for? a human robot.
Rejected God. They rejected God decades ago. And madness has taken over.
Don't be out there rejecting God. You'll just turn mad like that. If you don't believe in magical men in the sky, you're fucking crazy. So that's the Satanic Panic with Paul Beagley and that dude. Let's have a wee look at the red F.E.A.R that's coming out.
On this episode of China Uncensored, 5 ways China props up North Korea. Welcome back to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. It's been 5 weeks since the historic meeting between North Korean dear leader Kim Jong-un and His Excellency Donald Trump. No, seriously, Kim Jong-un has just sent a letter to Donald Trump calling him Your Excellency 5 separate times. Ugh, what a fanboy. Don't you realize that no one else calls Donald Trump Your Excellency? They call him God Emperor. But anyway, last month's Trump-Kim meeting was bad news for the Chinese Communist Party. China, once the primary conduit between Washington and Pyongyang, is at risk of being largely left on the outside. You see, the Chinese Communist Party like to be the middleman. If you want to talk the North Korean regime out of nuking the world back to the Stone Age, you have to go through a
North Korea's going to nuke the world back to the Stone Age. That's his funniest joke in this whole video. And the funny thing is, it wasn't meant to be a joke. Okay, Baldy, that's enough from you. Here's the trumpet. The clues in the name. The trumpet. China working to boost a role in Middle East. Red F.E.A.R. They're coming to get us. In the Centre for Security Policy. The emerging Trump doctrine defeat communist China. And that is Donald Trump and his cabal's major prime target. Now, let's say there is some weight, there's some merit to the stories out there pointing at Putin and Trump collaborating, helping each other out, geopolitically speaking. Well, is maybe Russia doing a double bluff on China? Because before Trump came into power, Russia was edging to more close relationships, militarily speaking, with China. Good way to steal all their secrets and learn how to give them a good doing if you need be, by working with them as your supposed ally and learning all their ins and outs. I just suspect that that's Donald Trump and Russia's paymasters' overall agenda. The reason I think that is because the Russian corporations that are behind Putin are the same corporations that are getting put under pressure by China's economic strength, the same way with all the corporations and money behind Donald Trump. And what's happening in Britain, Israel, a good few European Union states, and America, the polarisation of the politics, nationally speaking, and the new landscape, the new political landscape that's getting made, that indicates to me that it's not as simple as America versus Russia, UK versus Russia. It's more complex. And when you would argue, right, well, okay, if it isn't nation state against nation state, or this alliance against that alliance, what is it? Well, a lot of people would argue most democracy scams have been bought and paid for by multinational corporations for a long time now. I would say there's a lot of weight to that. And then you would see that, well, what we're witnessing here, hiding behind flags of nation states and alliances, is nothing more than corporate warfare. And it's Adidas versus Nike, where one's pretending to be Russian, one's pretending to be American. Neither. They're both fucking, you want to produce shite you stick on your fucking feet that you don't really need, that's overpriced. And they don't really care where they make it, as long as you just park your money and buy their shite over Nike or Adidas. Anyway, I digress. So that's the Red F.E.A.R. Let's have a wee look at the alt-right.
Hello, yes. Can Nigel Farage rescue UKIP? Nigel Farage has just announced in the last day or two that he will return to frontline.
Now, this guy's out and out fucking BMP, hate the fucking Jews dude. I don't know, maybe a month or so I've been bouncing into his videos and stuff. And if you didn't objectively think about what he's saying, you might feel he's actually coming across as very reasonable. It's not until you scratch beneath the surface of this guy a wee bit more, and I don't know. At the moment, my opinion is he isn't. He's out there with a tractor beam trying to indoctrinate people into a nationalistic way of thinking, while at the time appearing to be a reasonably criticising Tommy Robinson and the ilk. But what he's constantly doing is pushing people down the road of populism into UKIP.
Politics, and put himself forward as the next UKIP leader when Jared Barton, the present leader, his term expires in March 2019. Should Theresa May continue with her Brexit betrayal? You see, Mr. Farage, the Brexit betrayal was signed, sealed and delivered probably months ago, if not a year ago. It's already been signed, sealed and delivered. We have been betrayed. And those Tories that resign, they'll just be replaced by yes men. Will it prompt a leadership race? I don't know. We shall see. But you see, Mr. Farage.
So again, on the, like, he'll say this, he'll say that, and he'll say a lot of things that will resonate with you. But when you, I don't know, what I'm hearing is a very dissatisfied Conservative. The Conservative Party for him has moved far too much to the centre, away from his far right leanings. So, for me, the Conservatives that feel that conservatism globally has moved more centre than right than they like, well, they seem to be breaking off and rebranding and starting all these new little political parties and calling them fucking lots of things. But ultimately what it is, it's a rebranding of conservatism. It's a new, cool and trendy, internet-friendly, cool to the youth. In fact, there's some gays and trannies sprinkled on top. Conservatism. Neo-conservatism. Anyway, that's just the way
Putin's come out and denied that they were involved in election manipulation, says they're insulted. If anything, RT is leftist.
So just completely move on from Russia affecting elections. Never consider it. It's no way. Russia didn't spend one penny in adverts trying to influence the election. They didn't. Alex Jones told you so, and all he does is tell you the truth. And then he goes on to try and claim that RT are leftists. It is that bizarre, people.
In fact, RT's horrible now. It's unwatchable. The sycophant.
Why the fuck do you talk about the same talking points so much then? Oh, because you don't watch RT, you just get your talking points from the same people that give RT their talking points.
Worship of anti-Trump stuff, and it's always been leftist. I mean, the claim that it's this anti-Hillary machine, that CIA report they put out a year and a half ago that showed 20-something examples of them having negative coverage of Hillary. Yeah, they had probably thousands of Trump.
Wow. RT is pro-Hillary Clinton and anti-Trump. Woo! Alex Jones, you have jumped the fucking boat, my friend. Fuck the shark. You've jumped a shark and the boat and a double-decker bus at the same time.
I mean, RT, if anything, is like our mainstream media. It's very, very leftist. That's a side issue.
Aye, thought that was a funny one to drop in. Now we'll get to the cult of Tommy Robinson, but first, Itchy Richie Allen. Remember
Harry Hilton, Washington.
I covered him and he was like begging for money. Ah, dirty Tina turd. I'm not going to put anything up on YouTube. Dirty Tina turd. I'm going to be dirty Tina turd. I'm not begging for donations, but here's how to donate. I'm not doing it for nothing. I'm not doing it for nothing. So he's still uploading everything to YouTube. So I'm assuming he must have fucking the little beg must have helped. That the jeopardy that the salesman injected into his story. The jeopardy that he injected into it must have worked. And then, who's he getting on? Who's this independent? Oh, Ray McGov. Oh, fuck. Oh, this is the guy that was propagated everywhere on RT from standing up in that meeting and getting manhandled out. Aye, that guy. The guy that's on Alex Jones all the fucking time. Aye, that guy. Hold on, I thought Itchy Allen was different. I thought Big Itchy Richie here was independent and bringing you the truth. All he's doing is propagating the same fucking messaging that every other member of the Truth or Industrial Complex is doing.
From bureaus.
Anyway, Andy's still on YouTube.
Hello.
Alright, everything's gonna be alright. So, well, let's start here. Brian Harvey's YouTube stuff, just trying to think of the right word there, has now made it into the Sun newspaper. E17 singer Brian Harvey sparks concern as he claims he'd been held prisoner in his own home for 5 years in worrying video. Appears distressed in the clip as he warns people are coming to kill him and begs fans for money to fight it. Now, I do have an opinion about. I've listened to quite a lot of the stuff Brian Harvey's put out, and I can't. All the evidence he's talking about, you're like, right, it's a lot of coincidences, and you can kind of paint a picture, but it's not evidence you could take into a court. No doubt, like the phone hacking scandal and all that. I think the Truth or Industrial Complex has attempted to use him, manipulate him, use him. I mean, E17 dude, he'd have been as good a propaganda tool as Ben Fellows was, ex-BBC actor and all that, or as an ex-Admiral of the Navy would be, Brian Gerrish. These people have public profiles as such. They're seen as respectable members of society, ex-cops, ex-fucking Navy, ex-pop stars. And whatever's happened to him, now, for me as well, it's clear as day that he's pretty much a fucking weed-induced, paranoid fucking psychosis as well. It doesn't mean that some of the stuff he isn't saying there aren't dots to join. But me clearly looking at the dude, man, and listening to him, his videos and stuff, he seems that way, that fucking chronic, manic thinking way. And it all seems dead. He believes this shit. He doesn't seem to be acting to me, but who am I to judge on that? But he seems genuine in the stuff that he's saying. It's just all very disjointed and hard to put together to form a solid picture. The fact that when he was trying to get brought into the Truth or Industrial Complex, it was the Bill Maloney, it was Richie Allen, it was David Icke, it was Ben Fellows, it was Lou Collins, all the members of the Truth or Industrial Complex, who have all, if you look at it, all dispersed, all independent now, although by Brian Harvey's reports, they've all been in a coordinated, behind the scenes network to set people up, manipulate them, send them off in particular directions. I think maybe a smart propagandist back in the day seen Brian Harvey went like that, right, okay, the guy's, he's not Einstein, I think we can manipulate him. He loves fucking smoking weed, so all we do is need to really get him fucking stoned out his nut, and he and that will also make him less believable if he ever comes out and fucking tries to tell any of this stuff. I believe most of the stuff that he's saying, and if you look at the characters that he's talking about, they're all integral parts of the truther industrial complex. And now what's happening is you're getting the Sun. Now, just reading that headline, see, and looking at his face there, he clearly distressed. Or maybe he's got suicidal tendencies. You know what I mean? That's what I see there. That's what the subliminals I'm taking away from this. Begging for money and a worrying video. Videos aren't that worrying at all. Who knows? Watch your space, I suppose. But I thought this was very worthwhile.
Brian, Richie here. How are you?
Richie, how you doing, mate?
I'm not bad. Listen, I'm really sorry for not getting in touch with you. I do this show 5-6 days a week, and it's just me, Brian.
Yeah, no, I know, mate.
Cool.
Yeah, no, I know. I watch your show, mate, and I appreciate you're busy. Like, you're constantly going like David is, isn't it, I suppose?
Yeah, but I hate people who say, oh, I'm busy. I'm not like that. I generally get back to people very quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm very interested, mate, obviously, in what you have to say, so genuine apology. In fact, David said to me this morning, I was talking to him brief, and he said, just add it up.
David said to him this morning, speaking to him just briefly, this is the independent Richie Allen. It has nothing to do with David Icke, but he has all the same people that David Icke has built up a relationship with over the years in the Truther Industrial Complex on his show to spout their tripe.
He said, did you go back to Brian? And I said, fuck it, I didn't. I'll send him an email straight away. So
Yeah. No, I appreciate you coming back, Rich, and you know, like there's a lot of strange things going on in the alternative media from my perspective. Oh, what's that, mate? Rich? Can you hear me, mate?
Right, I have shit like this happening to me all the time on mobile phones when I'm on the phone call. Sometimes it's your Bluetooth headset, it's getting interference. Sometimes it's just shit that my technical mind doesn't understand, but I could justify it as some sort of a common problem that happens in all the fucking mobile phone masts and stuff. To people that are hyper suspicious about everything, and I still am to a certain degree, that could seem like, I mean, if you're hyper suspicious, or let's say your paranoia levels are raised through the roof for whatever reason, you could perceive that a helicopter flying over your head to its base on its normal business could be there observing you because you have the secret to the Illuminati. Just like common problems that happen on phones, people could perceive that as the Illuminati hacking their phone or whatnot.
Mate, there's something going on with my line, my end. Can you not hear that? Fucking hell, that is...
Like
can you not hear that, Rich?
Some sort of static interference to me.
Rich, call me back, mate. Call me straight back, please. Fucking hell. Rich, can you not hear that? That is, like, I literally cannot even hear you. My line is crackling. Oh, mate. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I've never had that happen before. I've had the phone cut off while I've been talking to people. But this is something new. Are you not hearing that at all, Rich? Oh, mate, I can't. Oh, do you know what? I cannot even hear you. Sorry, Rich. Call me back one more time. Rich? Fucking hell. Is unbelievable. That is unbelievable. I'm not going to live with what I know for the rest of my life, sit back and see no one do anything about it. I try to do something about it and I just get taken down by the media.
You know, the Prime Minister won't talk to me when I've got a completely legitimate reason to talk to him. He will not talk to me. Now, he knows, and I know what is behind that. He knows. David Cameron knew why I was at Downing Street. He knew why I was there. And they even had to spin that and say, you know, Brian Harvey's a nutcase. He's here about money that the government owe him. No, I wasn't. I was there about phone tapping and evidence that I had gathered on my journey with...
Aye, but at the same time you were there with your dossier about the phone hacking, which seems very likely to have happened to you. I mean, it was fucking rife. But then you're saying, just give me my money, I want my money, just give me my money, just give me my money. And then that gives them the ammunition to say that shit about you. It's called spin.
Bill Maloney, he's not what he says he is. And he tried to walk me down a certain path because he is in with people like, and I know you probably know this guy, and I know David does, and I know everyone knows everyone. But this Ian Puddick is counterintelligence, MI5.
I've always found him a bit sinister.
He's someone, mate. He's someone. And
I've always found him a bit sinister. Right, what was this? This was June 2017. Right, this is the two-face of Richie Allen.
And for the past 3 years...
And this is why the whole truth for industrial complex is probably trying to run away from Brian Harvey right now. Because he's recording fucking everything. And he's caught so many of them out being two-faced and all their shenanigans and stuff. And that's why nobody will go near him anymore.
All he's been doing to me is showing me his power and his connections. Michael Portillo, you know, advertising his gin. You know, he's sitting on UK column with Brian Gerrish. You know, Brian Gerrish and Lou Collins are partnered up. You know, when I went round to Bill Maloney's flat one day, Ben Fellows is supposed to be missing, but Lou Collins can ring him. You know, everyone knows now. I see what's going on in there, and it's ridiculous. You know, that is not a truth movement that is going on over there. And for someone like me to come walking in and see it all, this is just like a repeat of the commercial industry that I've just been in, but in just as dark in another way.
Oh, woo! See, a year ago, Brian Harvey's pointing out that the truth for industrial complex is just a carbon copy of the mainstream media, just indoctrinating different people.
Do you know what, Brian? If I was in the same room as you now, I'd fucking kiss you, mate.
Weeks later, Richie Allen has Ian Puddick on the show and mentions nothing of what I said. after Richie Allen says I find him a bit sinister.
I must point out, because I haven't said this to our listeners, every interview we ever did went on YouTube. The only one ever taken down by YouTube was the one I did with
everyone knows everyone.
For community standards violation.
This alternative media is rubbish. Everyone knows
there was no profanity in it. Everything Ian said was true. It was all public record. Out of the 1,200 or so videos we've put up, the only one he ever took down was yours. That's a true story. Welcome back, mate, and congratulations on the work you continue to do. You had an interesting dinner last night with a former Scotland Yard detective. Tell us about it.
I did, yeah. Obviously, I won't name names. Had dinner with a former Scotland Yard detective that worked specifically in the paedophile unit. Now, as a general rule, officers only spend 2 years in that department for obvious reasons. But the specific officer is now retired, by the way. We met up to talk about, police accountability and all of the rest of it. And I actually didn't know that he had actually worked in the actual paedophile unit. I knew he'd worked at Scotland Yard and he was a senior officer, but didn't actually know that he'd worked in that office literally until last night. So I was gobsmacked. So I was asking all the right questions, well, hopefully asking all the right questions. We talked about police accountability in terms of Operation Country Murder.
21st of July,
Some of the very senior
2017.
officers that were taking
Yeah,
cash
so that's
bums
very
were,
recent.
were all
Who
able to
is this Ian Panic guy?
My first guest was clever enough to get out of the country. A trial was held in her absence, and she was sentenced to 2.5 years in jail. That in itself was incredibly corrupt. We could be here all night telling you her story, but let's welcome back to the programme the terrific, the brave, the courageous Andrea Davison. Andrea, welcome back. How are you?
I'm fine, Richie. And how are you? It's lovely to be back on your programme.
It's been a year.
Of course, the subject is not a happy one.
It's not, Andrea, no, and I said at the top of the programme, it's a year almost to the day that you first came on and chatted with us. I know you've been talking to David, and David, you've known David a long time, and he's been writing about you and talking about your story for many years, but you were first on.
Oh, so did you independently, through your independent radio show, source this guest? No, it was a previous guest and somebody that David Icke had a relationship with
us a year ago. What did you? What were your thoughts when, presumably, you've seen the BBC Panorama programme? What were your thoughts watching that programme, or at least hearing what was in it?
Well, initially I couldn't watch it live, but I did get it on YouTube, and I have watched it. Well, I was absolutely horrified, but it was not a surprise. I do know Chris F.E.A.R, and I do know some of the survivors, and I've spoke to them also about Panorama's intended programme, because I've had previous experience with Panorama, and they are well known to stitch people up. Whereas cutting and pasting is quite a common process on the cutting room floor. Chris F.E.A.R and the survivor, who's known as David, he's a really, really sweet person. Very easily influenced, but very, very sweet person. And had already fallen into the trap of giving an interview to Panorama.
I scribed a birthmark and a first name and scribed the person, and they said the surname and everything, and says that can only be him. Why should I doubt them?
The man who ended up being named was Leon Britton.
I believed it because I believed that. I don't know. Just believed it. I couldn't say why I believed it. I believed it at the time.
The story continues. Chris F.E.A.R and David had already given an interview, as I said.
So David Icke is integrally involved in all this as well. David Icke, butt boy of Richie Allen, and now Richie Allen is independently reporting on this.
And then in March this year, we had some news from insiders. The insiders told us that Panorama,
pretty sure that's all the Express,
plus some journalists from the Mail, including MI5 assets like David Anarovich, were planning to derail the investigations into VIP paedophiles.
I answered the phone and Bill's rung me and he said, Andrew is doing a deal with Panorama for about 12 grand and they're going to do a hatchet job on you, me, Chris F.E.A.R and fucking John Wedger. Right, that's what I've been rung up and been told.
Never got paid any money. It was Chris F.E.A.R that's done the interview with Panorama.
Chris F.E.A.'s done an interview with him, yeah?
Yeah, and then Panorama comes to me and asked if I wanted to say something. I didn't want to do it at first and everything, but then I had done. But your name never came up.
Yeah, but why would they? See, the thing is, Andrew, it's the BBC. Do you know what I mean? Why would anyone do an interview with the BBC when they're...
They had footage, they had some footage and stuff like that were filmed in the interview.
Yeah, but that's what was supposed to happen, surely. Do you know what I mean? That was the whole point of filming it, because you want to tell the public what's happened. You know, not that Bill comes along, films it, and then sits in the middle playing God with everyone. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking wrong.
It's fucking wrong, and I fuck him. I've fallen out with him now. I don't care. I've fallen out with him now, and after I've rung you, I'm ringing him.
So you can hear that there's within that group, there was a button of heads between Bill Maloney and Brian Harvey about what to or not to do with all the footage and stuff. So again, if this was a bunch of truthers filming the truth to get it all out, there wouldn't be this contrived, controlled, concerted effort to get the information out as and when they want.
And I'm going to tell him, I don't want to know whatever it is. He rang me a little while ago. He goes, oh, I'm in a car. I'm on the motorway. I can't say where I'm going. I can't say who I'm talking to. I'm fucking sick of it. Who is this bloke?
He's like a double secret agent.
He's fucking old Bill, I reckon. That's what I reckon.
He's admired in a really good mind in times as well.
I don't trust him. Why is it that he...
So let's say 95% of all these people that are participating in this are genuine, good-meaning individuals. All it does is take that 5% to start whispering into everybody's ears. Start, he's saying that about you, they said that about you, and before you know it, everybody's so fucking paranoid about everybody else that the whole fucking thing is smashed apart. Seems like a very effective tactic.
Gets to interview you. Who the fuck is he? Who is he?
Don't know.
Do you know what I mean? And this bloke, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm telling you now, Andrew, right? I've spoken to Matt Baker and Dan Chook and that, right? And I've looked in Tom Watson's face and said to him, you were the one that funded Andrew. Actually, it was Mick that done it and then called me over. Right? And he's looked me in my face and said, yes. Right? And then I told him what you told me, right? About the Tom Watkins situation, yeah? And as soon as I said it, he went, I want to talk to you. Right, so now what I'm thinking is, hang on a minute, Tom. If you fucking funded Andrew, right, who brought you to Tom Watson in the first place for him to know about you to fund you? Who contacted who there? How did that happen, Andrew?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. I'm not sure. One of the things they try and...
That geezer, Bill Maloney, you know what he tried to do to David, yeah? You know, don't you? You know what he tried to do. Now, what? This bloke needs exposing.
How long when Maloney said that?
Oh, this is a beautiful wee kernel in here.
This was in January 2014.
Right.
Right, and this was the next day after the interview. So the interview went out on the Sunday, which I think was the 12th of January or something, 2014. So this would have been 2 days before.
Okay.
Like 10th or 11th. And the end bit, I mean, I can play, if you listen, you'll hear the audio.
But what I do want to talk about that came out is David Icke. We are coming to get you. And David Icke, I'll tell you what, I haven't sworn yet, have I?
No.
Well, I'm not going to
I'm surprised.
Well, I'm not going to then. I'll just leave it on that.
It's been a long time coming.
David Icke, coming to get you. Okay, Brian?
I see you said this publicly.
No, he hasn't said it publicly, and Bill hasn't published this interview.
Well, we'll be straight into court if he did.
Yeah, well...
We'd be straight into court if he did. Woo! There's the fucking bastion of the truth movement, shape-shifting lizard shit himself.
Well, it ain't going to happen anyway, because personally, I think I'm there filming, and this was for me to put out, I think, David.
Yeah, I tell you what, mate. That is so ridiculous.
I know, mate, I know.
Well, this is the thing, that this is so ludicrous.
Is it? Is it? I'm pretty sure, and if these reports were correct, that people were found to be peddling paedophilia pictures in the Groucho Club in London, which David Icke is a member of. A wee secret club.
And
who Keith Allen is also a member of.
The story is so implausible that either Maloney has done this on purpose, or he's a complete frickin' moron. Only one of those two things can be true. This is extraordinary. What do you know about Maloney?
We're liars. We're liars.
Tell me this, Brian. What the hell is Maloney's connection to the police then?
So I found that very interesting. Itchy Richie into 17. And I done all that. So let's have a wee look at some of the cult of Tommy Robinson to wrap it up.
Alright everyone, time to talk about Tommy Robinson again.
Alright everybody, here's time to talk. An American will talk about Tommy Robinson, and I'll tell you what's happening over there in the United Kingdom, okay? Now, I'm going to talk like I know what I'm talking about, and very confident like. And there's going to be so many Americans and dumbass motherfuckers, even in the UK, that think I know what's going on more than they know in the UK.
Again, of course, it seems that some people have basically forgotten about the issue. I think that that's highly regrettable because it's a significant case with regards to the concept of free speech. Now, some people think that free speech and the First Amendment are the same. Well, this is the UK. The concept of free speech as a philosophical thing is not the same as any component of a constitution in the world. It's simply the concept that people should, morally, ethically, politically, philosophically speaking, be able to speak their mind. If they're not issuing a credible threat, they're not defaming someone, they're not doing anything, they're not inciting violence.
They're not defaming anybody. Remember that.
That they should be able to speak as they wish. Tommy Robinson has been called a Nazi over and over again because he happens to not like the Islamic religion. He's critical of Islam as an actual religious dogma. Now, if he was critical of Christianity, I don't think anyone would be calling him names. I don't think anyone would want him go.
The Antichrist?
Getting thrown in prison for over a year. I don't think that it would have been a problem over in the UK. The fact that it's Islam, I guess, makes it different. I'm not exactly sure how. Now,
well, what you're insinuating is the UK government is Islamic.
He was formerly in the EDL. He was one of the founders of it, the English Defence League. So he naturally gets called a fascist and a Nazi and stuff, but it turns out that part of his legal fund is being donated to, it's actually being run by a pro-Israeli group.
Oh, that's right. And if you're pro-Israeli, if you're a Jew, you can't be a Nazi or a fascist or just a all-in-all good cunt. Now, for these people to suggest this, and like, am I the only person that understands that there was Jewish Nazis, there were black Nazis, and Nazis, just National Socialism, which took on a different connotation because of the way they were perceived to have fucking been and all that shit. Semantics, and this guy's trying to tell you what's happening with Tommy Robinson here in the UK.
Is about people who would fit in with the category of Zionistic individuals. How very funny is that Jewish individuals are trying to actually support Tommy Robinson while he gets basically compared to Goebbels or something.
Oh God, man, like, see how much ignorance this guy is relying on to inject into your nut his fucking ramblings. Oh, Tommy Robinson's funded by Jews. He can't be a Nazi or a fascist. He can't be racist. In fact, he shits out gold bars.
And this has happened over and over. People who speak...
No, what's happened over and over is genuine bona fide fucking Nazis, national fronts and fascist groups have been funded by Jews.
Speak out against the...
Jews have been Nazis. Jews have been fascists.
Establishment who want freedom, free expression, free press, free speech. They want to be able to defend themselves. They don't want their nation overrun. They want governments accountable to be more...
They don't want their nation overrun. That's code for we don't want brown immigrants coming into our nice white country.
Transparent. They get called fascists. The problem is some of these people, they say things that come off as bigoted to some people who are on the further left, And this gets taken up like swill. The hogs come and eat the swill, the hogs being the corporate media, and then they regurgitate it all over everyone else, and then pretty soon the normies believe it. Like BuzzFeed tried to do this to me, and it doesn't work because anyone who watches my material knows that I'm basically the polar opposite of fascism. I'm a monarchist. I believe in limited government, and I want you to be able to do what you want to do if it's not victimizing anyone.
Yeah, but if you follow your political ideology to that end, what happens is the people with a lot of fucking money, power and influence can dominate the people that haven't got it. And if you do end up working with anybody, they've got every freedom to pay you 1 pence or $200. In fact, you could be close to a fucking slave again, but hey, it's just freedom, baby.
The problem is, though, that these people who are propagating...
They have no idea the shit that they're peddling, how that would affect, economically speaking, how that would transpire. Not everybody would just start fucking having a homestead and fucking all this new industry popping up. No, it would still be cheaper to buy your fucking shit from Asda and Tesco, and they would then have the fucking limitless freedom to use their dominance to expand their monopolies even further.
They themselves being totalitarian.
And there'd be limited government to stop this shite, and they would have ultimate freedoms.
In mentality, they constantly defame, they constantly harangue, they're constantly trying to deplatform anyone that's using the internet to speak out, because they compete with us. When I make this video, every minute that someone is utilizing to watch this video, to interact with this video, when they share it out, that's attention. That's audience retention and time. Most importantly, time is money when we're talking about something like YouTube especially. It's time that they're not watching CNN. It's time that they're not interacting with a Fox News page. It's time they're not...
Oh man, what he's talking about here is spot on. What he's saying is completely accurate. Now apply it to the truth of industrial complex.
Going using the internet to speak, themselves being totalitarian in mentality, they constantly defame, they constantly harangue, they're constantly trying to deplatform anyone that's using the internet to speak out, because they compete with us. When I make this video, every minute that someone is utilizing to watch this video, to interact with this video, when they share it out, that's attention. That's audience retention and time. Most importantly, time is money when we're talking about something like YouTube especially. It's time that they're not watching CNN. It's time that they're not interacting with a Fox News page. It's time they're not going to BuzzFeed or Salon. And when they spend more and more time on channels of people who talk to their audience, instead of like CNN talking at people, who do believe in free speech, who don't shut down in inconvenient comments, including ones that sometimes are out.
I would disagree. The alt-right who love the fucking freedom of speech are very happy. They're trigger happy on the old ban button on YouTube. Richie Allen never takes any of my Skype calls that I've made to him.
Outright insulting towards the uploader. It gives us a huge advantage over the corporate media. Now, Tommy Robinson's the same. Tommy Robinson ostensibly is a journalist. He went, the reason why he is in prison is that he went to cover a trial that was ongoing. The excuse was used that he was potentially going to cause a mistrial because he happened to be recording this. Oh, well, you know, it'll taint the jury pool. Now, how many people were watching the stream versus how many people who are actually constituents that could have been called forth on the jury? Probably a minuscule total, even though Tommy Robinson is well known. Maybe 1% of the local constituents ever even heard of it until it became a national issue. And they had already, by the way, they had already gagged the press from talking about the whole thing. So he gets thrown in prison for violating the terms of his release. He had been released, had a suspended sentence from before for, you know, God knows what. And I guess one of the...
the suspended sentence for before, for God knows, not an important part of the fucking... The exact same thing. The exact same thing.
Conditions is you're not allowed to do journalism because in...
It's not journalism.
The UK, this...
There was actually journalists there abiding by the journalistic rules.
Makes sense.
Journalists report on things in the pursuit of being objective and independent. Tommy Robinson doesn't. It's not journalism.
And so they threw him in the hoosegow for 13 months. Firstly, totally excessive for what was done, even if he violated that suspended sentence. Secondly, an illegitimate charge from an illegitimate judge. Third, made no sense whatsoever. The trial was not compromised, pragmatically speaking, looking at the issue as it actually is, the actual cause.
No, you shut up, pigeon tits. Right. I should have done this a while ago, but... Oh God, sorry. Forgot what freak of the circus I was on. Journalism refers to the production and distribution of reports on recent events. The word journalism applies to the occupation using methods of gathering information and utilising literary techniques. Various forms of journalism mediums include print, television, radio, internet, and in the past newsreels. Concepts of the appropriate role for journalists vary between countries. Right? This is what they never talk about. Everybody's getting in their head what a journalist is. I would argue real journalists go to journalism school. In some nations, the news media is controlled by the government and by government intervention and is not a fully independent body. In others, the news media is independent of the government, but instead operates as private industry, motivated by profit. In addition to the varying nature of how media organisations are run and funded, countries may have different implementations of laws handling the freedom of speech in libel cases. It's brought significant changes to the media landscape that's created the shift in consumption of print media channels, and people increasingly consume news through e-readers, smartphones and other personal electronic devices. God, they've even got I'll need to find that for another day.
In effect, that didn't actually happen, so I don't know why he's still in prison. Now, he's petitioning for release. He's trying to appeal the decision. I wish him well, although in the UK I doubt he'll actually...
I know. Fuck you.
Okay, let's try again. It's reasonably quiet again in my little forest cafe. Horde of kids here, I think celebrating a birthday just behind the camera. But it's gone quiet, apart from the parrots. And they are parrots, actually, in the trees. I don't know how wild parrots came to be flying around the forest in Tel Aviv that I'm in. Very...
Yeah, Brian London. Nothing London about him, apart from his London accent, but he hangs about Israel telling you how good fucking Tommy Robinson is. I thought it was interesting what Juicy Lucy was doing as well, because if you listen to the Tommy Robinson Gimp Boys, she's away sucking off Antifa. And then when you actually check out what she's doing, she's still running pro-Trump fucking things. She's just branched off from the Tommy Robinson crew into her own little... She's quite tidy, right enough. I'd believe her if she was telling me the truth.
Hey everyone.
Pretty boner.
So today's video is going
I believe her. The little red dress on.
to be about some updates regarding Tommy Robinson. The first update being from a very interesting article that was published today, which claimed that President Trump's ambassador for
Look at the way she keeps moving. She's definitely a robot. That, or she just edits the fucking life out her tits.
International Freedom actually lobbied Britain on Tommy Robinson's behalf. Sam Brownback, the U.S. ambassador for International Religious Freedom, complained to the British ambassador in Washington, D.C. about the treatment of an English right-wing activist who is in jail for disrupting a trial, according to 3 sources familiar with the discussion. Brownback raised the case of the activist known as Tommy Robinson in a June meeting with Sir Kim Darroch, Britain's ambassador to the United States, according to a British official and 2 sources close to the organizers of a pro-Robinson demonstration planned for London on Saturday. Brownback raised the jailing of Robinson during a meeting with Darroch that covered a range of religious freedom issues, the British official confirmed earlier this week. Brownback told Darroch that if Britain did not treat Robinson more sympathetically, the Trump administration might be compelled to criticize Britain's handling opinion of the case, according to the two sources in contact with organizers of the planned pro-Robinson demonstration. The sources said Robinson's supporters, who have also been in touch with the Trump administration about the issue, were concerned that he could be attacked by other prisoners. So personally, I found this article to be very encouraging. And I know it's not only me. I've seen this article shared all over Twitter, just thousands of...
I know it's not only me, it's all my legion of followers and everybody that thinks the same as me. They all love it too. And we're all independent together saying the same thing.
Times all day today.
Loving the same people.
It's
hating the same people for the same reasons, all independently.
Encouraging to see that the Trump administration at least seems to not only find the entire Tommy Robinson case as ridiculous as we do, but also that they don't seem to be afraid to make their opinion on the matter known. Now, obviously, this isn't going to be nearly enough to just get Tommy.
Obviously, none of these people are what would be deemed a lawyer who would get their head round exactly what happened to Tommy Robinson and see that in the context of what he done, it's more than reasonable to lock him up.
Tommy Robinson free out of jail tomorrow, but I think at the very least it's going to assist in helping to showcase how totalitarian and outright ridiculously unjust the UK government is becoming. In fact, Trump's entire visit to the UK this weekend has been just one spectacular show. My personal favorite of everything he's done so far, and this could change because, you know, he hasn't left yet, but my personal favorite, and I think that many of you will agree, is when he gave an interview to The Sun and he lambasted Europe's immigration policies, saying an influx of migrants fleeing violence and seeking asylum has caused the continent to lose its culture and change the fabric of Europe. And I don't mean that in a positive way, Trump told the paper in a sit-down interview. I think allowing millions and millions of people to come into Europe is very, very sad. I think you're losing your culture. Look around. You go through certain areas that didn't exist 10 or 15 years ago. It really is amazing how Trump, one of the most scrutinized people on the entire planet, is able to so casually and so confidently speak such controversial truths when there are dozens upon dozens of conservatives who are to this day still too afraid to speak this truth, even though they know it to be true. Alright, so the second piece of Tommy-related information is just to clear up a bit of confusion regarding his appeal, which is coming up this Wednesday. Now, some people have been claiming that Tommy is appealing his conviction, when in reality, he is appealing his sentence. I asked George Lewin, one of Tommy's cameramen.
Right, the reason he isn't appealing his conviction is because he pleaded guilty. These people's fucking realities and meltdown, man, it honestly doesn't take that much of a critical thinking mind to get your head round what's happened to this dude.
About it, and he replied, they'll either overturn it or give him a shorter one, which may mean Tommy being out soon. Also, Tommy's official Facebook page posted this update regarding his legal case just a few days ago. Tommy's appeal date has now been moved up. It will be taking place on the 18th of July at the Royal Courts of Justice in London. The situation is very delicate, so we would ask that anyone attending the event this weekend or going to show support outside the court next week remains positive and peaceful. We are very close to seeing Tommy home with his family and need to keep the pressure up, but we must also tread lightly to make sure that nothing gets in the way of justice being done and Tommy getting home to his wife and kids.
Yeah, like some violence in it.
Last of all, even though Tommy was transferred to a new prison several weeks ago now, I know that there are many of you out there who still don't yet have his new address. So if you happen to be one of those people and you're looking to write Tommy a letter, then please do check the description of this video and you'll find the address there. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you, Pretty Boner.
Sources in contact with the organisers of the planned pro-Robinson.
Oh, and here's Brian, London accent sitting in Israel.
Demonstration. Okay, so we've switched. It's worth deconstructing journalism. So in this...
Very true. And it's worthwhile destructing this guy's journalism as well. Like he asks the questions, where's this publication coming from? Who are they? What's their editorial stance? What's their political leaning? Who do they support? Where does the money come from? Do the exact same with Brian London here, sitting in Tel Aviv, telling you how shiny Tommy Robinson's cock is.
Alright, so I thought I'd come to the other end of the Tommy Robson march just to see Antifa and maybe have a debate with them. But they've all gone home. It's like, our march hasn't even finished and there's no one here. No one. Absolutely no one.
Don't you wish it was always like that? Imagine a big bunch of collective morons came to the streets for a fight, and they were looking for a fight. There was just nobody. Nobody felt they were worthwhile turning up and giving any attention to, arguing with, or just looking at. Okay, you can all use bunch of fucking morons, but are on over there, do whatever you want to do. Just leave us alone, eh? Normal people are going to go about and sit in a fucking field naked or something today. You just can go over there and argue, bang your heads against brick walls all you like. I just wish that was always the case.
Able to say that? Because what is the free speech element in that?
It's very tit for tat here and there, so...
Right. Oh, God. And here you get two pseudo-intellectuals trying to one-upmanship with each other. This isn't a genuine debate. This is people determined to argue with the other and trip them up to prove that their ideology and the way I think is the right way of thinking.
These people, the sort of, as people on my side might call the professional offensive takers, obviously get offended quite a lot, and then to try and get back, Nigel might have thought, well, this is an excuse where I can try and take offence.
So it sounds like you're saying that they're sinking to Trump's level.
I mean, I'm not really... I mean, maybe they are. Yeah, I mean, they could be.
Yeah, I think that's bad. I mean, I think that we should try and have a higher level of discourse regarding politics. I mean, you know, he is the leader of our biggest ally. Why would we try and alienate that, you know?
That is a fair comment. I mean, do you think that is part of the issue, is that if you have a giant baby balloon, you are alienating him? Because Trump seems to be a guy who, when he gets offended...
I think he will take offence, won't he? Yeah,
and he lashes out. Yeah. But, I mean, is it wrong to make a president take offence? I mean, what is...
Oh, no, not at all. I think giving offence is sometimes entirely necessary. You know, I'm not saying it's wrong to put the baby balloon up. I think it's silly, but, like, you know...
Speaking of which,
oh yeah, is that the mini one, isn't it? There's two of them. Look, it's suddenly appeared again. Yeah. It's quite...
How small it is.
Cute, really, isn't it?
But yeah, it's fine, you know.
It's quite a cute baby. How's it going, man? You alright?
And all these, everybody thinks like iPads and mobile phones are some sort of a ray gun. Oh, quick! Somebody's over there talking about Trump! Quick! And they think if they just film them long enough, maybe they'll evaporate or something. I really don't know the thinking behind it.
This gentleman wants you to wear this.
Oh, well, I think I won't, because I'm a bit nervous, because the chaps over there wearing them had to have a police escort. So, yeah, I don't think I'll wear it just in case.
Do you honestly feel that nervous?
Well, that's
wearing it.
The chaps over there need the police escort. I mean, I think if I don't wear it, I'm a lot safer. So
we know there's
I mean, did you get a shot? It was a MAGA hat, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
What? So who are you scared of? What do you think will happen if you?
Well, I'm scared of it, but we know there's Antifa here.
Who knows who's around in the crowd and what they'll do without warning?
How has it got to this point, guys?
Well, it's a good question. How has it got to this point? I think there's a lot of demonisation, don't you?
Dehumanisation.
Yeah, maybe the media's contributed to that somewhat.
Do you think the BBC has contributed to that?
Do you think so? I think there's a case that could definitely be made.
I don't really have many opinions.
I mean, that isn't a real conversation between two real people speaking real. It's almost like two lawyers chatting to each other in the courtroom, both scared to say anything that means anything at any point. It's question answered by a question, answered by a question, answered by a fucking question, answered by, well, yeah, but maybe I know, do you think? Question? Fucking bozos. Anyway.
Really?
No, not really.
That's interesting.
I guess this is every single person in America who voted for Donald Trump, because that's the thing, right? You're not just upsetting Donald Trump, you're upsetting the people who voted for Donald Trump. That's fine. That's progressive, right? But if you upset the progressives, that's not fine. That's hate speech. It's hate speech, right? So let's
this guy's voice.
Let's look at an interesting article that came up today. It happened on the Daily Beast, and it's racist tweet reignites Trump's feud with London's Muslim mayor. Very interesting, right?
The fact that this article, the Daily Beast, go and check out who they are, fucking alt-right, right-wing morons from America, God-bothering, fucking Bible-bashing, backward people. The fact that in there that they've got London's Muslim mayor tells you all. For me, if that isn't telling, it's almost like Paul Joseph Watson. Like, what if they flew a big black Barack Obama balloon?
For several reasons. Now, if you guys forget, Trump almost got banned from the UK. Like the United Kingdom was almost caught in an international shitstorm. This was because while the elections were taking place and Trump wasn't president yet, he was still running for president, there was a push to vote Donald Trump to be banned in the United Kingdom. I wish it would have passed. I honestly wish they would have managed to ban the soon-to-be United States president from the United Kingdom, because it would have been for a very lousy moment. It's like, yeah, our nations are allies, but we banned your president from coming here. I guess this is diplomacy now. You know, in the past, people would try their best not to offend each other on the smallest thing. Like, it was so important to even decide at the dinner, you know, who sits where. If you had, like, foreign dignitaries coming, the most important thing was to make sure that they all sit in particular positions. Like,
pro-Trump stuff about the balloon by a Romanian sitting in the UK. Here's I Can't Be a Nazi, I'm Black. Jonananya rhymes with banana.
So we're here outside the Trump in Thomas.
And here's Juicy Lucy.
In London. Now,
with very bad audio. I mean, you've got an amazing camera hen. Buy a microphone.
Has become a party, and Lucy was one of the organisers. She's obviously the ex-campaign party producer. She's doing other things, so please do like her this afternoon.
I'm doing other things, like making sure that the US president knows that the UK does welcome Trump. Lots of people.
She's definitely Antifa to me.
They do. Lots of people don't. That's fine. But lots of people do, and it's important for us to be visible and to be out. And I think looking at the protests yesterday, you would think that, you know, the UK in general is against Trump. I know it was just in London, but I think it's, you know, I get messages from people all over the place, in Britain, in the US, everywhere, who are thanking us for actually just having this, like.
It's very dull and boring. They talk about the wee Trump day that Juicy Lucy put on there. And maybe she's going to remain alt-right, but just the female face of it. I don't know if it's possible to like Tommy and her at the same time. Is there a division in the camp? Who really knows? David Icke and Russell Brand at the Groucho Club. I can't remember if I've seen these pictures before or not. That's my favourite David Icke picture ever. Is that Adam Curry? I think that's Adam Curry. Anyway, I think I've ever came across stuff like this.
How are you?
I'm spectacularly well today. A little bit disappointed by failure to get into the record books, but other than that, I'm upbeat.
So you're on the Isle of Wight next week then?
Problems though, we are stupid on this radio show, but in a sort of a deliberately ridiculous way, you know, sort of like the wise fool. That's very much the model that we pursue.
Anyway, I just wanted to quickly touch on that. Somebody put that into the chat. I was aware, is that Russell Brandon Geller? Nah, some girl he'd pumped and she's like pulling her skirt down. So anyway, there was 2 nights journey through the independent alternative media who just talk about all the same stuff all the time. Hopefully you enjoyed tonight's Not the InfoWars Nightly News. Make sure you thumbs it up, share it with friends, family and foes. The original alternative look at the alternative media. Skeptical about the skeptics, and watch the motherfucking Watchmen, because somebody's got to do it. Thumbs it up, share it with your friends, family, foes. If you value the show and the clips I do, there's a Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. Feel free to use it. It's digital busking. Everything's available and accessible to everybody free of charge. I hope to do such a good job that you will consider using your spare change, not your life savings, on the Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. And a mega thanks to everybody that has. Hopefully you enjoyed tonight's show. Tune in tomorrow afternoon for a World InfoWar News at 1. A triple-prong attack at deciphering the newspeak. We'll be watching the BBC, the RT and the UK column. And the more I've been doing the triple-prong attack, it is a very valuable comparison. Especially if you do it over the longevity, you can see the same agendas coming out of independent sources, which gives you a better idea of who they're actually really working for and for what purpose. So into the evening, one and all, thanks for joining. There's Blazing, there's FTW all day in the evening, buddy. McVicker, how you doing, my man? Apple Charlotte, how you doing, guys and girls? Chinny 18, Lazy Jesus, Haley Pad, how yous all doing? Blazing, Sonia, and the evening, guys and girls. There was Pete Globe, bye bye. Say hello to Tinkerbell for me. Stewie was in as well. How you doing, Stewie? Helipad, Lazy Jesus, Charlotte, Sonia. There's Jits 410. How you doing, buddy? Blazing, Lazy Jesus, HK, Helipad, the artist formerly known as Tony, Jamesy Boy, and the evening, guys. How he's doing? HK, thank you very much. Apple Charlotte, Stewie, Helipad, in the evening, one and all. There was Devon Shovel in earlier as well. Hopefully I managed to say hi to yous all at some point during the show. Hopefully you appreciate tonight's Not the InfoWars Nightly News. Tune in tomorrow afternoon live, 1 in the afternoon in the UK, for the World InfoWar News. As I said, triple prong attack. Hopefully you all had a good one tonight. I know I did. I'm going to go and chill out and grab some food. Alright to YouTube. Kips Clip.
Tonight at 11.
Doom! It's a plan! And I'm angry! I'm not a slave! I've broken the conditioning! It doesn't work on me! I'm primitive, I'm real, I know the enemy, and if we can have this spirit of normal humanity spread, it's over for the globalist! Break the conditioning now! Excuse me.
This is not the InfoWars Nightly News, where the answer to 1984 is not $19.95 plus shipping and handling, but the answer is to try and understand the double-barrel bullcrap, the double-speak, and the Orwellian wonderland we now find ourselves in. So sit back and relax as I take you through a real alternative look at the news and so-called alternative media alike. Enjoy.
Kips Clip.